Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's Monday. Obviously, today is Memorial Day weekend. I hope you guys are having a great weekend and enjoying your Memorial Day weekend. A couple of things we're going to just take a look at today is story on Tim Draper, a famous investor, what he's predicting for Bitcoin. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at Bitcoin, see what it's doing as well today, and Ethereum. Bitcoin's trying to pump a little bit. Obviously, the stocks aren't trading today, so we won't go over that, but we will take a look at how the miners did compared to Bitcoin for last week. It's a little surprising, which is good. So that's always a good thing. So let's get into it here. As always, not financial advice. You guys know the drill here. I'm investing in the following coins and companies, just for full disclosure, as I always like to say. And let's get into Bitcoin here right now. So Bitcoin is at 30,571. It has been pumping here in the last couple of hours here. Let's go on the hourly chart. So it started pumping about 10, 12 hours ago or so. You can see on the RSI, it is way overbought on the RSI. At that point, it has come down a little bit, which is a good sign. Price has kind of come down as well. So on the hourly chart, I think we're probably going to be going down a little bit. The same thing you could say for the daily chart. I still don't like the setup that we're having here on the daily chart. RSI has definitely come way up. And if you look at where the RSI is now, last time we were at this RSI level of around 49, was on, looks like May 4th. And we were at a price of, we finished out the day at 39,669. So we're obviously way under that. We're about 9,000 lower, but the RSI is at the same level, which obviously doesn't look well. You can also look over here. RSI is much higher here than the price was over here, which was on May 15th, and the RSI was lower. So I still think we are possibly going to be going down. We may obviously be going up a little bit here to possibly test the 32,750 resistance level. We may come up to that, and I think we possibly will fall back down, but time will tell. Right now, I'm not too thrilled with the way things are looking on the Bitcoin chart, at least. Ethereum is pretty much doing the same thing. It is at 1,913 right now. It has been bouncing the last couple of days as well as Bitcoin has over the weekend, so we'll have to see. Obviously, tomorrow trading starts back up on the markets. We'll see how that progresses on, and then we'll also take a look, obviously, once May is over with, which is going to be tomorrow is the last day in May. And then June starts around, so we'll start getting the miners updates as well for May. So that'll be interesting to see how that's playing out as well. All right, so let's get into the first story here, and the only story we got. Not much going on, but I thought this was kind of interesting. And here it is. So Tim Draper still believes Bitcoin may hit 250,000, which is obviously a pretty high mark from where we are right now at about 30,000. That would be a price would be about a 162% increase, right? Somebody commented on it on the article. But here's the interesting part of the article. So American investor Tim Draper is still convinced that the price of Bitcoin will eventually reach 250,000. During a recent interview with the well-known cryptocurrency trader Scott Melker, he predicted that more women would start using Bitcoin, which I think would be a good thing. This would obviously significantly expand the cryptocurrency's user base, which would be true. Right now, it's dominated by obviously males. But if we get more women into the field, I think it'll be a great thing. All of a sudden, here's a quote from all of a sudden, all the women will have Bitcoin wallets and they will be buying things with Bitcoin, Draper predicted. Considering that roughly 51% of wealth is controlled by women in the US, I did not know that. It's kind of an interesting fact or statistic there. It is not far-fetched to predict that they could push the price of Bitcoin significantly higher. Obviously, that would be true if we got more women adopting Bitcoin. And according to the famed venture capitalists, retailers are also yet to realize that they can save 2% by accepting Bitcoin instead of bank-issued credit cards. This could potentially double their profits since they run on very thin margins, Draper said. The only thing is, obviously, Bitcoin is so fluid right now and so volatile that it kind of makes it a little bit hard for them. So you would need something that would automatically, obviously, track the price that you want to sell something at, and then obviously convert it automatically to Bitcoin, and then you would have to buy pretty much when somebody buys something, sell it, get cash for it, and be done with it from there, unless you wanted to hodl it, obviously. But that's something that could be done as well. So, as reported by US Today, the venture capitalist has repeatedly predicted that the price of Bitcoin would hit 250,000 by year 2023, by early 2023. So, we're only 6 months away from the end of 2022 already, which is outstanding. And time just keeps on flying by. So maybe within 9 to 12 months, if his prediction is correct, we would have to see, obviously. So in 2014, Draper purchased 30,000 Bitcoins at an auction conducted by the U.S. Marshal Service. Back then, he accurately predicted that Bitcoin would hit 10,000 by 2018. And it did, obviously, in 2017, we hit almost 20,000. So We'll see if he can still have the prediction going on. And then obviously something else that is kind of interesting here. He's also stating, here's a quote from him, now your diploma and your driver's license and your employment history and your medical records and all that stuff will go on an NFT. And that will be sort of a new direction for NFTs, which is also interesting because right now NFTs are just non-fungible tokens, typically used for goods and art. You got the ape coins or the apes. You got some other ones out there as well, CryptoPunks as well. And then you obviously have things like shoes, apparel, things, houses, real estate and metaverse, things like that. So if it actually goes to real world uses, that might be kind of interesting as well. And, that's kind of the same direction that smart contracts or on Ethereum and places like that have been going towards possibly doing the same thing as well. So obviously we're still early on. Adoption is happening, but it is taking slow, which is fine. But that's what we want. We want adoption to continue. We want it to continue to drive the price of Bitcoin. The more adoption you have, the more the price is going to go up. Also, the price is going to probably stabilize more as the price increases as well over time. All right, so I thought it was kind of interesting. We'll see if we get obviously to 250,000 by next year. That would be fantastic. I would not be complaining one bit about it. I'm pretty sure none of you would be either. And miners would obviously benefit greatly from that. The miners would be, oh my gosh, at that point, if it went up to 250,000 per Bitcoin, the miners would be, probably, 2,000% up higher than they are now, if not more. So that would be fantastic. But let's take a look at the miners versus Bitcoin, see how they did for last week. So we do have the majority of miners being, I'd say almost half, a little bit more than half of the miners are in the green for last week. Some of them are down. So obviously the biggest gainer here on the week was DigiHost was up 41 cents, up 29%. Luxfolio was up a penny or 6%. Sphere was up 6 cents, 6%. Riot was up 40 cents to 5.85%. Marathon was 50 cents, 5%. CleanSpark was up 24 cents to 4.25. Stronghold was up 10 cents to 3.5 roughly. DMG was up a penny to 2.68%. Hut was up 4 cents to 1.61%. And Bitfarms was up 2 pennies, up 1%. Hive was flat. Core Scientific was actually down 3 cents or 81.81%. BitDigital was down 2 cents, down 1.2%. Bitcoin was down $573, down 1.96%. And Argo was down 4 cents, down 6.84%. Iris was down 48 cents, down 7.68%. And Mawson was down 23 cents, down 9.79% on the week. So Mawson obviously did the worst here on the chart. You can see Bitcoin was down 1.96%. So majority of the miners did better than Bitcoin did for last week. And we saw that in Friday's video where we pointed out where did we actually have a bottom in the miners because we've had 3 days of going in the green and Bitcoin has been going down the last 3 days, or last 4 days or so. It's actually having a kind of green day a little bit today and yesterday. Looking at the 4 week, we can see here, let's do this descending as well. On the 4 week, we'll get into this chart here, make it a little bit easier. So where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin is right here. So Bitcoin on the 4 weeks is down 20%. So the following miners did better than Bitcoin on the 4 week chart. Have you bought back then? So obviously DigiHost is down 18.75. Argo is down about 18.25. BitDigital is down 14.5. DMG is down 10. CleanSpark is only down about 10%. Stronghold is down 3.5%. And Luxfolio is down the least, 0.75% on the 4 weeks. And then we obviously have the one that did the worst was Mawson's down 41% from 4 weeks ago. Iris down 39, Hive down 36, and Bitfarms is down 31. Marathon is down 31, Sphere is down 30, Core is down 28, and Hut 8 is down 26, and Riot is down 23. So everybody below this line here did worse than Bitcoin did for the 4 weeks. And let's take a look at the 8 week really quick while we're at it, and then the 12 week to see how things would have stacked up. On the 8 week, we can see here, Bitcoin is actually down 32%, and everybody has done worse than Bitcoin in this. Biggest losers are Iris, Riot, Core, Marathon, Hive, Mawson, DigiHost, Hut 8, BitDigital, CleanSpark, Bitfarms, Sphere 3D, Luxfolio, Stronghold, DMG, and Argo. Some of these guys are almost at double the losses of Bitcoin on the 8 week. And let's take a look at the 12-week really quick. On the 12-week, we can see that Bitcoin is down 26%, and then we got Stronghold down like 68%, Iris down 66%, which is almost triple what Bitcoin is down. Marathon is down 53, so double, along with Riot. Core Scientific is down 50, HUD is down 49. So obviously the miners got clobbered here in the last 12 weeks compared to Bitcoin, and we see that happening obviously when Bitcoin goes down. These guys go down 1.5 to sometimes 3x more than Bitcoin does, but the same is true when Bitcoin goes up. The miners actually do, better than Bitcoin does. So that's why I love the space that with the miners here. It's risky, but it's also a pretty good play on Bitcoin as far as I'm concerned. And then just looking at the all miners weekly here, we can see here that we had a couple weeks here where we were just pretty much all red. Let me see if I can squeeze all the stuff in here somehow. It's gonna be tight. Let's see. Try to squeeze this in as best I can so we can see everything. Let's zoom out a little bit. We'll do that. We're at 100. Let's do 125. There we go. So here we can see that we had pretty much 2 weeks where everybody was just in the red here. This was on 422, 414. We did have some. Mawson was up a little bit, 7.9%, a little bit of an outlier, along with, who else did we have here? Bitfarms had 1 week that was a little bit off, or up a little bit here. This was on 429. And then 5-6 week, we had CleanSpark that was up a little bit in Iris. Other than that, everybody was pretty much down in those weeks. And then we're seeing kind of a little bit of a change up here. From last week, we had a couple of miners that were up, and then again this week as well. The only two miners that were actually three miners that were up the last 2 weeks is DigiHost, DMG, and Luxfolio. Those guys are the only ones that have been up 2 weeks straight. Everybody else has been either down or just up 1 week. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. Still waiting on some results from some of the miners. I think Hive is still set to report their earnings. I think there's a couple other ones that still have to do that as well. So once those results come in, we'll take a look at it, see where they are, and then obviously we'll take a look at the miners, see how they did in May. Those reports are going to be starting to come out this week, probably around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll start getting some reports from most of the miners, and then we'll obviously get the rest in the following weeks to come. So it'll be interesting to see how they install their new miners, how many they installed, what's their hash rate currently at, how many did they mine Bitcoin. We've obviously seen Bitcoin hash rate come up pretty high and then come back down a little bit as miners are becoming unprofitable, some of the S9s and things like that. So those are being shut down, which is also reducing the overall hash rate and the difficulty, which is kind of good for the miners because they can actually make a little bit more. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, spreadsheet is available to my Patreon members. Thank you to my patrons for their support and for you guys for watching. Obviously, I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend. We'll see you guys probably tomorrow. We'll see what happens, and then we'll go from there. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and the notification bell. That's all I ask of you guys. Helps me out tremendously. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.